everyone. Welcome back to Critical Conversations, the podcast of the Storytellers' Tales. Last episode, we had on Brimvor. This time, we have on Yone. He's a little dark, but that's okay, because that's how he likes his characters, right?
I guess that matches perfectly.
He plays Zoe in The Grand Quest, a tentacly figure, and he's an interesting person. He's always played the kind of eldritch people. I mean, his first character was Yone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Yone. I believe he started off actually kind of innocent. Yeah, he started off as like a kind of like a rogue-like character.
Yeah, rogue swordsman, basically. A really innocent guy from, I think, like a poorish farm village thing. It was very basic. It was my first character ever, so I mean, it's kind of...
yeah, that's right. That was your first game ever, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his first game was the Grand Quest game that we played when we all first met. The one that, like, Brimvor was talking about where, you know, we learned the lesson of no PvP. Yeah. He is the other culprit of that situation.
Yeah, that was me.
But yeah, man, Yone went down a path. If I remember, like he was an innocent character who just was always in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, I don't.
That's a way of putting it, but yeah.
Man,
there are a few instances of that.
Yep. Yeah.
Multiple. Yeah.
He saw some things he shouldn't have. A lot of player interaction with NPCs that he shouldn't have seen.
Permanently altered his character from there on out.
Yeah.
And then it happened again. And then it was kind of a running joke to kind of like, if he's gonna fall in on.
He's just gotta be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is like what was he? I know he was a rogue fighter. He was a rogue Echo Knight. Something.
It was my first character, so in my defense, I had no clue what I was doing. I was going off like a model that I like read about. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. It was a rogue fighter warlock.
Yeah, it was a tri-class. Yone's first fucking character was a multi-class. Ooh.
Yeah, it was not. I would not do that again for my first character.
Oh yeah, take that lesson from Yone, all you nooblets. Yeah, don't do a multi-class 3 ways.
Also, like, when looking back, I also didn't know the game either, so I didn't know how to exactly play with my tools, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't know how combat worked too well, and it was, like, reading the descriptions of everything. It still is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's a bonus action, that's an action, that's a reaction.
So much.
I'm still kind of, like... It's a lot.
It's just D&D has a lot to it, and I mean, but yeah, we're actually almost done with our 3rd year of playing together.
2022.
Yeah, it was sometime around then. Yeah. I think it was like February of 2022 or 2021, something like that. But yeah, no. Now, you've kind of fallen into a niche that you really like, which is that eldritch horror kind of area, which is awesome because I love eldritch horror, and so whenever I get the DM for you and you bring in this eldritch monster or eldritch like person, I'm just like, hell yeah. So we got to do an Underdark game for you. That'd be perfect.
Well, I know. Isn't that the other one that is Hulk DMing?
Out of the Abyss, yeah. He's DMing the Out of the Abyss game, which is in the Underdark.
Yeah. So I will be coming in there for a little bit in the future.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think it's the late future, but yeah, guest character. So.
That'd be so cool. Especially because I don't know, like I feel like with it being the Out of the Abyss and having all the demon lords and everything and stuff, that's probably like it's gonna fit really well. Do you have kind of like a concept of who you're gonna be bringing in, or is that information?
It's one of Hulk's NPCs, and yeah, he gave me the rundown of all that history stuff. So I picked one out. I think it's for people that know me it's what it's gonna be already. But I mean,
Yeah.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. I mean, that show is coming back airing wise in January, but we have been recording it because we here at Storytellers are paranoid people who like to have backlogs. I think Grand Quest we're 12 episodes or 11 episodes ahead of release date, and so we're a couple of months ahead of release date. So we'll be finishing season 1 before season 1's even fully out. I think we'll be somewhat into season 2, recording wise. But
you think?
Oh, yeah. I think so. Yeah, I mean, like, because we just finished recording episode 69, and we just put out episode 57 last week. No, this week is episode 57. Yeah, the week of the 1st of December is the 57.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it's crazy the journey that we've been on with D&D. I mean, like, so with it being like, have you ever thought about looking into doing like Call of Cthulhu, the other TTRPG that's like all about Eldritch horror? I know you and me kind of talk a lot about the different like stories and lore behind H.P. Lovecraft's stuff, and so I feel like you would enjoy running, like not just playing, but like being a keeper. The basically the GM is really fun. You don't have to care about as many technical mechanical things like in D&D. Like the combat is super simple. And everything runs off of a percentile. You just run the D100. If it's if like you get below, like say you have 50, right? And then you get 25, that's a hard success. But if you get like 1/5 of your score, then it's a extreme success. And then if it's like a 1, it's a critical success. And then so forth and so on. So like it's a really simple thing. It's got a lot of different skills and stuff, but yes.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be easier to DM for that than for D&D.
Well, I mean, hey, yeah, I know you've been working on your own little story, and I've been wanting to play in it. But if you do run a Call of Cthulhu game, I want first seat because that sounds so much fun.
I actually gotta start thinking about that.
Yeah,
do they have modules for that?
They do. Yeah, they have lots. I ran recently the Down Darker Trails for some people. It was for some people on the server. It's like a Wild West version, but they've got medieval, which is terrifying because like it's already scary to go into combat because like when you're fighting those Eldritch horrors, you're fucked. And so like with guns.
Yeah.
And so imagine doing that with bows and swords, and you're like, well, I'm screwed. But they've also got like they got a futuristic one. They've got a outer space one. They've got a modern day one, which is I think called Delta Green. But then they've got like the 1920s one, which is the standard one.
Okay.
So.
Which one did we do?
Was
it our own?
We did. That was kind of like our own, but that was set in the modern one. That was the Appalachia one, right? Yeah.
I think so.
And then we moved over to doing the Down Darker Trails one, but yeah, the one where the snake people, that was a modern one.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was not going well.
Yeah. Yeah. The first conflict, y'all almost died.
Wow, we ended on a note where we probably were going to.
Yeah. And that's the kind of point of it, is like you're fighting things beyond your comprehension, beyond your capability of fighting. Going into a fight with those creatures is like, why do you think you're gonna win here? What tells you you're gonna win here? Like like maybe some cultists? Sure, yeah, you can fight some cultists, but go against the freaking, those snake people. I don't think.
That was it.
Maybe one of you would have lived, but it is. I would listen to a lot of Call of Cthulhu games on Spotify, and it rarely ever ends with everybody living.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I think you'd have fun doing that. So, Yeah, I recommend you looking into it because it sounds like something that's totally in your ballpark.
For sure. I mean, yeah, like you said, the only downside for me is that you can't get too overly attached to your characters, I feel like, which is the one thing I personally enjoy about at least the Grand Quest games, because you have like kind of a character idea and growth, and then we all get, I feel like most of us get attached to our characters. I've seen, well, it's not that they're not attached, they just make a lot of characters.
I think we're calling Mithril out. I think we could say it's Mithril.
Yeah. Every week I see like a new stat roll. I'm like, oh, the other character's gonna die or something. But
yeah.
Get attached to my characters, and it gets. We had some sad moments. I feel like in the Grand Quest games.
Yeah.
Where some characters died, and it was sad. Kind of let him go.
I think one moment it was Mithril's character Trick that died, and everybody did the funeral for her.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the saddest moments in Grand Quest. It was out of left field because like Mithril didn't expect it, but everyone in the party was just like, no, we're gonna do a funeral. Like I wasn't even expecting it. So I just kind of like let it go into your guys' hands. You guys take care of it, and you guys broke Mithril's heart.
Yeah.
She was crying. But so Zoe, I know you've had renditions of Zoe before, kind of.
Yeah, I did. I've played a couple games with him, but they didn't last very long. Or
it's my fault.
Yeah, or we like games, and so I'm like, all right. And also the first one I made, or no, the second one I made, I didn't like how it was built. It was a Sorlock, I believe. So I changed it, being his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that game ended.
So
and
what?
Then I think.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, and then we just started up this Grand Quest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what is his kind of like, I don't mean to like interview you, but I do kind of want to look into the mind of Yone when it comes to his characters. What?
Therapist?
Yeah, let's sit down and have critical therapy moment.
Why you like all this?
Why do you like to play characters like that?
Well, the reason I came into D&D to begin with is because I had my old roommate played it, and it seemed really interesting. And quick little backstory is my personal favorite animal is like the octopus and any like cephalopods. I think cephalopods are like the coolest out there. I always watch like documentaries. I did a project over it in elementary school. And ever since then, it's just been my favorite animal. And so then when I learned that there are octopus people that eat people's brains, I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And so then I hopped in and I played my first in-game session, which was actually with Yone also. And then I joined this one. And then I kind of played the game based on like what the rules said, and I hadn't quite learned that you can RP and you can use basically, as long as it doesn't like break the game or anything, you can be very flexible with how your characters are. And so I think that's when I made the first Zoe, which was wearing an I guess it's whatever. Was wearing an octopus mask, like a mind flayer. It looked like it. Yeah, like this long robe and stuff, and kind of floated around. Or no, he walked on walls.
Yeah, because you had made him like a Dampier-esque character, so that you could walk on the walls.
Well, the first game he had the cloak on that helped him.
Oh, the spider climb, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, you can like climb around and be this like octopus person. This is the coolest like thing ever. And then that one ended, and I tried to make it again. And then I just built it differently. And then for the Grand Quest, he showed it once and scared the shit out of one of our characters. But it hasn't really come up anymore yet. I mean, I'm sure it will, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. That episode's actually coming up real soon. I think it's not this episode coming up, but the next week. I think 58 is the one where where
Yeah.
Hulk's guest character gets traumatized.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to describe.
Yeah.
I think all these games have helped me, like, and Call of Cthulhu also. It's a very highly RP type of game, and so I was kind of forced to do it. But I think it was a good little push because now at least trying to in the Grand Quest game, trying to roll for more things frequently or find those times to RP, because it actually is really fun when you have a game that you want.
Yeah, you just got to do it. That's the thing. Is you just got to take the moment, you know? Like you can't wait for it to be given to you. You can't be like, "Hey, I really wanted to do this moment, but it passed." It's like, no, you take that moment, you know? Like especially in my storytelling where I am a lazy DM. I generally don't prep. I prep some, but like I have like, okay, so this and this is gonna happen. You know, these are possible things that will happen, but I generally just kind of like, where do you guys go? I'll make something up wherever you guys go, and I'll connect it to the story. And so generally, if you guys are sitting there waiting for me, we ain't going anywhere. Like,
well, I've seen this get better too, because back, I mean, still a little with this because of the story and all, but kind of giving us a push into something to do, a slight nudge. I don't want to even say a push, but kind of guide us with like training wheels, and we would kind of follow it. But more recently, I've noticed you just falling back and just being like, well, what are you doing? Because we have to. That's the fun of D&D, is kind of making your own thing happen.
It's a collaborative storytelling. That's basically what it is. I mean, down to the root of it. It's you're telling a story with your friends, and I mean, you guys are all like really good players, and so generally I'm like, if I get in the way, you know, then that's me hindering you guys. So, you know, I don't. Yeah.
200 campaigns where we kind of don't go on the storyline and we just completely do something different.
I gotta figure out how to make a story for that.
Wasn't expecting that, but let's roll with it.
Yup. And I mean, it's all about different levels of improv. I mean, for the players, they gotta improv. They gotta react to what the DM puts in front of them as much as the DM has to react what the players do. I mean, there's no script, you know. Right. I can't. It's not like everybody's reading from something and there's cues and stuff like that, because I mean, if that was the case, we wouldn't be going in loops sometimes.
Yeah.
But Zoe's not your only character. There's also Zorn.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, so I don't only play Warlock Eldritch people.
Just generally.
Just generally, that's like the default. Or like if it's gonna have something. But Zorn was, what was he? Is he still active? I think he was
Zorn was in Brimvor's like criminal campaign, right? I feel like it was Zorn trying to secretly convince Umbra, my character, to become the new mayor by taking their shape.
That was.
Was it Zoe?
Zorn was the artificer, wizard, blade singer in your game that whose family had the company.
Oh yeah, Zorn was the noble merchant in the game that we tried to play. That was kind of like the history of Alfred. I remember that. Man, that game would have kept going if we would have just played more. That's the thing.
That's why I saw it active, because I'm like, well, maybe it'll come back. Because I did play that. That was my I mean, it's a blade singing wizard, and I learned why Raph is playing that right now. I'm like, wow.
It is strong. It is really strong. Like really strong. I like see, that's the thing, is that like with this world, I've had two kind of like modules, I guess you could say, storylines. There's the Grand Hunt, which is the dark twisted past of, or like the really dark time of Alor. in between the great, the emperor's death, and the new emperor or the new king of Alor, kind of like that in between when everything kind of hit the fan and almost completely eradicated all the non-humans.
Yeah.
It's a dark game. Like, I would love to put it out to record it, but the problem is I'd have to tweak it, make it a little less
censor it.
I'd have to censor it a little bit and get a good team that's willing to go that direction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and then
I hear about it. It's like like rules and stuff too, based on how the history is at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's
like
intense.
If you play a human, you're gonna have an easier time. You play a non-human, you're in danger, like all the time. Like, you can't walk around looking like an elf. I've had players snip their ears and cauterize them so it looks like they have normal ears. I've had goblins bleach themselves. Like, it's like, whoa. real bad. And so, like, it's I don't think it's a story, maybe a story for like Spotify, but I don't think it's a story for YouTube. I don't think YouTube would let me run that. But and then there's Grand Quest. Grand Quest, so like I had one team play Grand Hunt far enough to kind of like build like the end event, and I just been writing off that. And
for this one?
Well, just for all the Grand Quests, kind of like that point where you pick up is kind of like it's like I just kind of like filled in the blanks where the team didn't fully finish, but they got far enough. They chose who the new king was going to be. They found him. They did all this stuff. They knew who the villain was. They just never finished it. And so I was just like, all right, well, we'll just finish it and carry on to the Grand Quest because it seems like this one's hard to run. Mm-hmm. And then Grand Quest has just kind of been. I think I've played the Grand Quest once with another group, and it didn't go very far. Then I met all of you guys, and that was kind of where Grand Quest took off. You know, we almost finished the first half of Grand Quest. So
yeah, we did.
Until someone ate the world, Yone.
That was my first. Well, not first. So Yone took a turn with he found a snake stick. And ever since that moment, he was tied to his patron and basically grew hungry and kind of changed. Like, his mental changed, he physically changed, and he was ultimately the sweet guy went to like the villain, basically.
Gotta be careful what sticks you pick up, everybody. You might find a snake stick.
Which
snaky.
And its way into a Grand Quest and some Easter egg type situation.
Oh yeah. It I mean, I know it did show it. Note that this Alfrain history game wasn't recorded or anything, but like it did show up in that one, and I do plan for it to as an Easter egg, or even maybe a pretty important plot line of Zoe's storyline for certain individuals to show up.
Which is back to Yone. That's when he the whole feeding and all, he grew wings and ate a manticore heart and grew horns, and he donned this mask, which kind of, after I realized, wow, this guy looks cool. I didn't know you could like add stuff to your body type of things. Like, realizing the flexibility of like D&D, now I'm like, oh, now that's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not like mix it, as long as it's not like mechanically gonna change or affect the game, like RP flavor, all of that is welcome free, as long as it doesn't carry mechanical use. Unless the DM says so. Like, if the DM's like, yeah, that's fine, we can add this mechanic to it, then yeah. But generally, as long as it doesn't add mechanical use, I never say no. And so Zoe is taking full advantage of that one this time.
I'm like, well, like if I can't, game wise have, like let's say extra limbs or anything, but I can at least RP that some maybe up here. Yeah.
Yep, and I mean, there's always Mage Hand, which is your little tentacle that moves around.
It is. I don't know how, like, because I know in Baldur's Gate it's just like a hand, but in my, at least imagination, it's like the whole length of where the hand goes. So it's basically a 30-foot long invisible tentacle that's just grabbing things.
Reaching out. Yeah. And I mean that's fine. I mean that's the thing, is it's like it's flavor, you can like I play like in Out of the Abyss I play a drow, but I'm actually an Azamar. I'm just an Azamar reflavored as a drow, and so you can do a lot of different things. I mean Sif is a tabaxi reflavored as a wolf. So but yeah, no, it's D&D has definitely brought us a lot together, but we definitely should reach out into different TTRPGs.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's hard to learn a whole nother system, but I don't know. It definitely seems like we should. But
definitely
going back to it, like the story of Alfrain, I want to tell, and the story of man. There's a lot of different like things that I want to tell, like story-wise, but just getting those kind of like set up properly is difficult. Building a module is hard, or building a module that isn't so rigid is hard. So
yeah.
But let's see here. Oh man. Tell me what was going through your head when I mean, I don't mean to bring this up, but tell me what was going through your head when you decided to try to eat Chonk.
Oh God. So that was his whole thing, is eating the hearts of things would give him the attributes or an attribute of that thing. So for instance, like the mana core, I had to roll for what I got, but I got the horns. There's another time I forgot them. But we had our guest character who, if I recall, oh God, I think it was after some fight. And the guest character, I thought, well, at the time was seemingly fine with their character going out. Two of us were like, well, we both have this thing that we kind of have to do and like, or want to do, I guess, to grow stronger. And there's a pretty much almost dead character right here, and so we go for them and we kind of tussle over them.
Yeah, it was like two rabid dogs fighting over a bone.
Yeah, and then the character comes back, I believe, and then I just went on too far, too long.
But I mean, it's the life lessons. We learn those things all the time. I mean, I learned a lot from that moment, but then there were some really good moments that we've had that kind of showed us a whole other kind of aspect of like team bonding. Like whenever I either almost kill somebody or do kill somebody in a combat, suddenly all of you guys just activate full gamer mode and become unkillable, because you like perfect strategy, working together, comboing moves, and I'm like, where was this before I killed that guy? Like, so that's always been something that cracks me up, is like I'll like almost kill somebody and then everybody else now takes it seriously. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't realize I have to kill somebody for you to take a fight seriously, but okay. Right. So far in all our
roll that one and throw a knife into player's back.
Oh man.
Nice.
Right into okay, so we had a player named Rose who played a kitsune named Astra, and they were teaching Yone how to throw knives, and he rolls a 1 as Astra's like walking away and just bop right in the back.
Yeah, there's another time in combat too where I was rolling to throw and I rolled in that 1 and the character was also in the line of sight, and so how that played out was it flew into my teammates back.
Yeah, I think it was the same teammate too.
I think so. Like again.
Like why again? That night, that first time that you did it was the night that you they sent Rapid's character Griffith and Rose's character Astro sent you over to go check on Mithril's character Mithril, and you peeked through the door and got a sight young Yone did not need to see.
Every child's worst nightmare. Yeah.
Yep.
People felt it.
It was a fade to black, but it was not for Yone.
Oh, the sounds. He was traumatized.
And then the moment you just were so happened to be sneaking around in the rafters of the blacksmith's house when Griffith and the blacksmith got down.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Flashbacks and everything.
So what in D&D? Because I know I don't know if you've played. Have you ever played like besides the little bit of game with what's up?
No, I'm just thinking about like the classes I play too.
Oh yeah, the classes. What have you ever played any other TTRPGs other than D&D and that one time of Call of Cthulhu? Like have you played Pathfinder, Vampire Masquerade? That's it.
I've always been a fantasy person, so when looking at like you could be fighter, you could be like a wizard or warlock, like that's kind of my niche, I guess. But I haven't, like I said, I kind of fell into this by my roommate, and I haven't really like wanted to explore anything else.
That's true.
Until Call of Cthulhu.
Until Call of Cthulhu.
Until that.
I mean, you could still technically do fantasy with Call of Cthulhu. I mean. What are your like? If you could class them like on tier lists, from like 1 to 10, what are your what is your tier list of classes? What do you think?
Well, obviously the favorite is Warlock, even though playing more D&D, I realize Warlocks aren't like the greatest. Honestly, they're really not. I feel like the short rests and like just the 2 spell slots till 11, I believe, is insane to me.
So about that, before we move on, my ADHD has clicked in. What do you think about the 2024 Warlocks?
So I haven't done enough research to like look into that, but from what I hear, what is it?
I know they got rid of the packed magic, so now you're like a half caster.
Yeah. It's not it.
Not it. Yep. You're like I may think the warlock right now is kind of not the strongest, but fuck that warlock.
Yeah. I feel like kind of ruins the one thing the warlocks had going for them, I guess.
Yeah, they kind of made them different.
Yeah. And I think they use the invocations too.
Well, they get the tome, like the pact of they get their all the pact boons, basically. They get all of them, I think.
Right.
And so you don't need to pick like pact of the tome, pact of the chain. I think they just kind of get access to those. So, I'm not 100% sure. I did a little bit of looking into the warlock, but honestly, with the biggest changes are they don't have pact magic, they don't get their spells back on a short rest. I believe they don't need to do the whole picking thing.
I mean, I guess that's kind of nice, but the short rest is once per long rest, complete a 1-minute ritual to restore half of your maximum pact magic slot. That's a little like all these like. I guess there's some things.
They just put more. They put more effort. They put like more ways you could get your spells back, but really a short rest was like you get all of them back.
Yeah, which is like you only get 2, but I feel like that's the bare minimum that whatever. But and then it's kind of tweaked a bit.
Yeah, but otherwise it's pretty much overall the same. Just changes to their spell slots. But ADHD is satisfied. May continue with your tier list.
Obviously Warlock. I really tried to make the Great Old One work, but it's just mechanically not as good as.
Honestly, the depths, the C one is a better Great Old One.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It sounds like it. I mean, you can also, like I said, flavor it that way, which is what I'm trying to do. and then you have a better mechanic. You got actually like, at least right now, I have 4 bonus actions instead of just hexing every time.
Yeah.
And then you have like the slow, and then you have some nice spells I haven't gotten to use yet, or really flavor for it. But I mean, it also feels like a very flavorful class also.
For the, because we're we're working on Storytellers Tales, like third-party content books, like our Storytellers Tales Guide to Necromancy. We planned for one called Guide to the Arcanum. We should totally do an get you in on it and make like an actual like eldritch horror, eldritch patron warlock, like a good one.
Oh, like a class?
Well, like a subclass for the warlock, but we could also even go down the path like not
celestial. Is it celestial warlock? Maybe I'm just tripping.
The celestial warlock is all about gods and stuff like that. It's like the healing one.
Yeah, it's not quite. I mean, now I'm like brainstorming.
Yeah, right. Like, what could you do with that? Like, but we could even possibly go down and make a whole content book. Because like I said, I'm a big fan of eldritch horror, H.P. Lovecraft, all that stuff. We could even do like a content book revolving around eldritch horrors.
That'd be cool.
Like an eldritch summoner. That would be cool. But so what would be your second favorite?
Now my brain kind of is going everywhere now.
It's all good. Let the ADHD fly.
All right, because I'm thinking like Monster Manual. It'd be so cool to like make your own weird amalgamation.
Yeah, chimeras and stuff. Yeah.
Anyways, 2. I feel like I haven't played too many sorcerers. So yeah, I was talking about this. Oh duh. I have a sorcerer, I guess Zenith, what we changed from Zoe into. Zenith was a sorcerer warlock, and so that was my first taste of like sorcerer type stuff.
What do you think about that?
It seems really cool for me at least.
Yeah.
I like also the RP of like you're born with it. I think that's a cool thing to go off of. I played it with Warlock because of course the Sorlock.
The Sorlock, the coffee lock, yeah.
But all the spell slots were used to keep throwing Eldritch Blast basically. So I didn't really get too good of a taste of using it for anything else, I guess.
Yeah.
So I did make a character that was I'm trying to find it. That was a sorcerer, but I don't think we ever played that game.
It was Goose. By the way, everybody, he played a straight up Goose character in a one shot. Was he a sorcerer or was he a warlock?
He was also a sorcerer warlock. He was what Zenith was supposed to end up before he died.
He turned into a giant monster and then
got nuked basically.
Zoe's characters tend to have the outcome of becoming a bad guy.
Yeah, that's the one downside about playing all these characters like that. Like, well,
here's hoping that what we have planned for Zoe, it doesn't necessarily end in that way. So here's hoping, right?
Right, and already it's not gonna come out for a bit, but already I can see him kind of changing a little bit.
So the you haven't really, let's see here, you played a few classes, but they were kind of all multi-class. You didn't really play anything on its own.
Not really, until now. Until now. I'm trying to put everything into Warlock because I actually want to see what that
a full Warlock
will be like. Yeah.
What would be your what would kind of be like I would probably have to say the class that I would probably play, like less likely to play, is the wizard. Weirdly enough, I just don't find the wizard. What would be your like less likely to play? Like one that you'd be very rare.
I already know. I would not play cleric because I tried it one game and it didn't have, and I'm like, this ain't it. Like, yeah, this is not it for me. I was like, because in all the games I play, I'm always like the support, and that's just what the kind of role I fall into, and the one that I'm best at, I guess. And so I'm like, maybe it's the same for D&D, and it was not. It was.
He got though that situation was bad. It was a trap that you guys went down into the cellar, kind of fell into like a monsters preview, and there was a bunch of other monsters down there, and oh boy, yeah, that was, and you were like I think one of the first 2 down there. And
I rolled bad also. I think they rolled a nat 20 or something really high, and I was squishy.
Ish. Yeah, it was just a bad line of situations. But yeah, so
I said never again.
Never again.
Trying to think. For the next one, so we got Warlock Sorcerer, and then I think I'm gonna go that way instead of down up.
Yeah.
Wizard. So obviously a lot of mages in this.
Yeah, a lot of spellcasters.
Just because that's, I don't know, that's always been my personal kind of favorite type of thing.
It opens the door to a lot of things.
Yeah, because also I did the blade singing wizard that we talked about, which was melee, but you got to use your spells for like things to keep you safe, which for me, I was gonna say the 4th is gonna be fighter, but getting to play like a hybrid of like a wizard and a fighter, at least to me, was like I actually might put that above sorcerer.
Above sorcerer. It's
maybe
they're on the same tier. They're on the same tier.
Yeah, and I have another wizard that I have here, like a wizard rogue. Multi-class, of course. It's not a wizard, but like it's a soul knife rogue wizard.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Conjuration wizard, and he's a Simic hybrid, so he was gonna be like an experiment that they made do all this, I guess.
Nice.
And broke free or whatever.
Was he played in a game, or is he just one kind of off the side yet? Okay.
He was one when we had that the character creation channel open.
Oh yeah, before they limited how many people could be in a campaign.
Yeah,
that was dumb. Yeah, on the server I had a designated campaign, that I had sharing on, so everybody could build characters in it and share everybody's content and make characters, all that stuff. And then they wouldn't put a limit on it to 12 people per campaign, and so no one else could build any more characters except for those who were in it. You could have unlimited characters in it, you just couldn't have more than 12 people make characters in it, which is dumb.
And that just kind of sucks, because that's where I got like all my ideas. I'm like, could it work? Maybe, let's try it in a game. And now it's like, it's fine. I got Zoe, and so I'm perfectly content.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing, is that like one thing about Grand Quest that's really cool is that it's a decently long story, and it definitely revolves around, the first part of it is revolving around kind of building the characters and then them kind of telling their story. Like, instead of having a backstory and then having a small moment where you're like, oh, we're gonna wrap up the backstory, we're seeing the end of this story for the character, Grand Quest kind of is like, oh, we're starting in like the middle or the beginning of the middle, and we're gonna watch from the beginning of the middle of their story all the way to the end. And so that's probably one thing I do like about Grand Quest, is I gotta watch your guys' characters literally grow into who they are at the end.
Yeah, and boy do they change, because it will put you through it.
Oh basically. Yeah. We're actually, oh man. So Grand Quest has this kind of like thing that once you hit, because in the we've at the end of the friend arc, pretty much you're level 10, And then when we're starting season 2, there's gonna be like a time skip, and they're gonna be moved to level 11. At that point is when the game starts getting deadly, like really deadly. I don't know how many times I almost killed all of you guys and that's not me tooting that horn, because I'm not there trying to kill. Yeah,
it's just hard.
It does. Yeah. Enemies start getting stronger and their tactics better, and yeah. So what is probably your most favorite magic item that you've ever gotten in a D&D game?
Oh goodness. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't even know the answer to that one, honestly.
Well, it's kind of easy if you want to go based on the one shot that I had the cloak of whatchamacallit.
Cloak of Bats? Was that it?
No, this was the one that if I recall, it's like the legendary item, I believe. That was just for the one.
Was it the Cloak of Eyes? Or Stars?
Oh, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
If I recall, I can't even remember.
Dude,
actually,
I would have to say
the Arc Magi.
The what?
The Robe of the Arc Magi.
Oh yes, that's a legendary one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really strong one.
Yeah.
Like a really strong magic item.
Yes, not strongest, but I mean,
yeah.
Let's see. I've had a few cloaks. I had the cloak of the spider climbing, I think. Then the bat one.
Yeah, bat one was Yone. That yeah. Gave him flight.
And then I tried one game with Grand Quest. It didn't work out. And that was the one with eyes. No, that was a different character that had eyes. I had the displacer one.
Oh yeah, cloak of displacement.
They're all so. I want them all. Perfect.
Yeah,
honestly.
just like you're layered like in winter.
Yeah, basically. And then this game I have something. It's not even a cloak, I think, is it? Let's see. Oh no, it's a mantle. Ugh.
A mantle. Ooh. Oh, is it the spell resist mantle?
Yeah.
The one that gives you +1.
My favorite, but that's not even a cloak. I mean, I guess that's a magic item.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The good old Rod of the Pack Keeper.
Rod of the Pack Keeper, yep. Dude, one of these one shots, you got to try out the Wand of Orcus.
I've seen, because they have like the wand, which is just the wand version of it. I feel like.
Yeah, the wand of or is it the Rod of Orcus? One of the two. I think it's the Rod of Orcus, but that's a strong magic item. Mine would probably have to be the cape or the cloak. I think it's a cape of enlargement. The thing that allows you, it basically lets you grow one size larger and gives you your proficiency bonus added to your damage. Not instead of like how enlargement gives you a D4. This just adds your proficiency bonus to your damage, and which is crazy good, especially when you pair that up with like. So I love the one one character I've never gotten to fully play through is my giant character. I want to play the Iron Giant so badly. I made him. His name is Sam. 5 a.m. because you don't want to wake up to find him at 5 a.m. But he is a Path of the Giant, Oath of Conquest Paladin, and he's already like I made him just under the 10 foot, so he's like 9'5" or something like that, Warforged. And so when he grows, when he goes into rage, he grows to the size of large, which he's at like 14.5. And then I wanted to get the cloak so that, or the cape, so that I go to huge. And then I wanted to get like the potion of growth or like find a way to cast enlargement on myself so I can go to gargantuan. And then there's a way, I can't really remember what that way is right now off the top of my head, but there's a way to go past that to colossal.
Dang.
To where you're like 30 or 40 feet tall. Yeah, I wanted to be Big Robot.
Mm-hmm.
But I never got to play that. But I have to say, I did play Sora, which was a turtle who was originally, before he died and was reincarnated, a dragon turtle. But he got to the size of Gargantuan, and he wrestled the dragon to the ground.
Wow.
He was fun. But yeah, so the cloak of the cloak or cape of enlargement is probably my favorite magic item. I think it's only like a rare or very rare, but it's still super good. Just being able to add your proficiency bonus to your damage is nasty. So, but yeah, no, it's magic items. Magic items are fun to play with, but like, what would be? Let's see, you haven't run a game, but I feel like you would have a kind of understanding being a player for so long. Around what level do you expect the DM, or like feel like the DM should be giving out magic items?
At least like the beginner ones. Depends on when you start, because I feel like some games start at 3, some start at later. I don't know. 5 feels like a good number.
5 is pretty good.
Wild, maybe 3.
Yeah.
3, 5.
I mean, it depends. Yeah, because uncommon. Because I mean, you can get pretty strong uncommon magic items in the wondrous section, but like it doesn't. It's hard, in my opinion, as a DM to kind of register when to give magic items. So I kind of just like, well, when you find them at a shop and you can purchase it.
Yeah. If you kill someone with one, or
or find a chest somewhere. That's one thing that like that I think I need to add more in the Grand Quest is side quests. I feel like I don't have a whole lot of side quests in Grand Quest.
Not in Grand Quest.
No, I feel like I feel like if I add too many in Grand Quest, it's gonna too many side quests in Grand Quest. It's gonna kind of like derail things a lot. But I feel like I should add some dungeons in there, because we know that there is a way to make mana restoring potions. Zorn found out how to do that back in that Alfrain game.
He was going to.
Yeah.
Well, no, he did. He just didn't get past that to start making it.
But that's still a real thing. Like, you can go into the Underdark and you can hunt those mushroom people and be able to get the caps so that you can make those. So that's still a side quest, and there's dungeons all over the place that you guys can go and adventure in. So I'm just terrible at running dungeon crawls. I'm terrible at it. So bad. I don't even
like it is now. And you give us enough time to at least RP things, and we have like a training type of thing also.
Yeah, we guys can train for feats and stuff.
We do take some like side quest type things, but they're all on the same like path. I guess.
Yeah, they're not like you got to go back this way to do this. It's kind of just like along your path, and which kind of makes sense if you're adventurers who are just kind of like on a path to doing certain things. You're generally going to want to take the quests that are going in your direction.
Right, because we do have a mission also. So
yeah, everyone has their personal mission and then their overall mission, which Zoe is now the only character that isn't from Alor in the party. Yeah, because Oscar left. And so but Zoe was already a step ahead of them. He already knew about the gods and everything. So,
and kind of like understanding the bigger picture. I guess. Yeah, but he's starting to see that they're also somewhat intertwined.
Yeah, things seem to be everything seems to be almost like a spider web.
Yeah, basically.
Which I think Zoe would probably, once things start really getting revealed, Zoe's gonna understand like the level of effort that was put into that spider web plan.
Yeah, because if you follow the breadcrumbs in the trail, you can see this led to this, and this person talked to this, and then it's like, well, how did they talk to this? And then you're kind of putting pieces together, and you're like, oh, this is bigger than I thought.
Yeah, this isn't just a bunch of random events. Yeah, these are planned events.
Yeah, they're intentional.
Like, so I do not like to run Grand Quests the same way, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed that because you've played in several Grand Quests. I hate running Grand Quests the exact same way. But like, so like the first one, you were all weirdly related in different ways.
That's right.
Yeah, in different ways, you guys all found that you were related to each other. And and that you guys kind of like were all almost conceived for a purpose. And this one, I'm not going to spoil anything, but just pointing out that I do like to run things differently, so don't expect it to be the same. But
it already feels different.
It already feels different.
And I haven't even been playing it that long, but it already does feel different than the last one.
Well, I definitely slowed down the friend arc, like 100%. Like, by this point, playtime, we were already in at the end of the second arc. No, third arc. We were already at the end of the third arc. So I have slowed the friend arc way down. So, I just feel like the characters needed more time to develop. But it's, if you were to run a game, Yone, what kind of premise would the game be?
See, that's where I kind of like was also like, this is harder than I thought it was gonna be, because ideally a pretty big world after, I guess similar to yours, after something happened, I guess is the simplest premise. I hadn't really gotten much further than that, but from what I had was the map kind of looked like how, Canada, and then a kind of a thin other connecting land to a bigger piece of land, basically. A very simple map, but a very big one, and kind of a singular one too. And I had, the top country be ruled entirely by, of course, by mind flayers, basically.
Mind flayers, yeah.
I'm like, all right, this is it. The mind flayers, let's just say they invaded or something, and they literally took over a third of the world, basically, and came to an agreement with this other, portion, to something. That's where I was still kind of figuring it out. But and then inside this one giant piece of land, we'd have some mountains, yada yada, some divisions of different cultures who are kind of smushed together. So then I wanted that to kind of play some sort of conflict also. And I had the mountains in the north where the mind flayers were, so I was gonna put something else there. I don't know. A lot of sea, and a giant fucking tentacle monster that is holding the world or something.
Like a massive kraken version of Atlas.
I guess. Of the world serpent type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, heck, man, if you want help building the story on it, I mean, I know I want to play in it, but I'm down to help you build it.
Sure.
But so we're gonna play because we're coming close to the end here. Before we go, I have two things that I want to do. I kind of want to try out a new little segment of this. I want to play. It's kind of like playing a game, but it's real life party builder. So you suddenly get thrust into a world of magic like D&D, and say you get set on a path story similar to Out of the Abyss or Grand Quest, or a standard Dungeons and Dragons adventure filled with dangers, drama, past events coming back to haunt you, so forth, so on. What class would you be if you could choose? You get to choose what class you are. You basically get to build your character sheet before you get thrusted into this world. Who would you what would your class be? What would your race be?
The simplest, I guess, if I'm just doing this so quickly, the simplest to me would be a fighter. Something simple, something very human fighter, something that. What level?
Well,
I mean, I know I'm being, like,
well,
thrown into.
let's say like you're getting thrown into it, but you're given some power because you are being ripped from your world to solve another world's problem. So let's say level 3.
Okay. See, a fighter still feels like the best thing. Again, I haven't played too many characters, but it's like the simplest and the somewhat balanced, I guess. So very human fighter, level 3.
What feat would you take with that variant human?
See, that's what I'm thinking. So I kind of had something like this, but like pull arm master sentinel type thing. It's just easy. It makes sense. It feels good. But I'd start with pull arm master with like a pike.
Nice.
Something to keep him at a distance, but still something that I can hit comfortably. That's just the easiest.
So, what subclass would your fighter be?
That's what I was thinking. Is it champion? The 19?
Oh, no. Yeah. The champion's the one that hits critical with a 19 and 20.
I'd say that one.
Yeah, champion. All right. So, yeah, you could always get warlock down the road somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. You are a party of 4. What other 3 people that you know that understands Dungeons and Dragons would you want to join you, and what do you think they would play?
Oh God,
like real people, like Rapid, Brimbor, Myth.
We're getting the game. We're getting Mithril. We're getting Rapid, who's gonna play an animal.
He's gonna play an animal.
So he's already a tabaxi or something like that.
Some kind of reflavored tabaxi.
Oh, this one's gonna be like a. Oh God, she also feels like a warlock. What does? I feel like Mithril plays like everything.
Well, she definitely likes her paladins and warlocks.
I was thinking paladin type of thing. I just imagine Mithril from the game.
So like a Shadar-kai paladin warlock?
Yeah, something like that. That's start with paladin, I guess.
That is how she started, was paladin, so.
Yeah, that's just what comes.
Oh, sorry, not Shadar-kai. She was Kalishtar. She does love her Kalishtar. Yeah, she was a Kalishtar paladin. So Mithril is a Kalishtar paladin, Rapid as a tabaxi.
Maybe something animal. And then we'll get Brim in there. We need because we need someone for like support. I know, like is it our Gloomstalker or our current healer in Grand Quest?
Oh, it's their stars druid cleric.
Really good too. Honestly, I'll take that. Sorry, Brim, but I'll take that. And then, if I'm the fighter, actually.
Yeah, you're the fighter.
Brim never plays enough games that I can like remember.
Well, he definitely likes playing artificers, wizards.
He played an artificer that died immediately in one game. And yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, he is also famous for his with me and in the server for his X1 character, his unkillable Warforge.
Yeah, I heard about that. That sounds brutal. Oh man, because then now I'm rethinking everything. I have my fighter, but we actually need. We're in the back line too. So actually, Rapid might get kicked out, and we'll bring in.
Oh shit!
Sorry, a twist, but that. We'll do that. That's what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah. All right. So your team is Mithril as Mithril, Brim as an artificer, and who else? Kelly as you bring in Kelly as the Sarge druid.
Yeah. Good player. I say that.
Yeah, she's good at playing healers.
Yeah. Again, it's always nice.
It's, right.
It's always scary.
We can
down.
We could always bring Rapid in, later, as a guest character, rip him into the world for a short time.
Be the dog that.
Yes. He could be the companion. God,
Yeah.
he's gonna be so pissed when he watches this. He'll be
Yeah.
like, "How dare you abandon me?"
Oh, you asshole. Yeah, he'll be as the fighter. I'll have a dog, and the dog will be
We'll be a
Rapid.
blade singing wolf, which is Rapid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll permit. Rapid cannot be left behind.
You can't.
No, that would just be a heresy.
Yeah. Oh god.
But all right. So last thing before we sign off, so you play as a player primarily, and you've kind of gone from in these last 3 years from person who didn't really understand Dungeons and Dragons to a person who now makes really good builds, really good characters, and generally understands the basis around D&D. What is one advice that you would give like a new player into Dungeons and Dragons that you think would be the most helpful for them to know?
As much as I want to advocate for like RP and stuff, I'd honestly say start simple. Cause that's what I learned. It was too complicated, and I feel like I would have not only understood the game more by playing something like a fighter or something simple. I'd get more out of the game, and I'd grow more attached to my character. Cause also, hand in hand with that is make something that you actually enjoy playing, I guess, a character that you actually want to like. Because sometimes I just see people filling in what we need or what they hear is good. But yeah, start simple and come up with an idea that you actually really enjoy, so you actually have something in it.
A wonderful advice. Yeah. So start simple and build to enjoy. Basically, build something you're gonna enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about filling in. Play what you want to play. I love that. That has always been something I advocate to. Don't care what other people are playing. Don't build for the party. Build for yourself. The party dynamic will be figured out. Yeah, that's wonderful advice. But all right, well, it was amazing having you on, Yone. We're gonna have to get you back on because I feel like we're gonna have to have a talk about this with Rapid about being put as the pet. God. You know what I mean? Like Rapid's gonna have to come on and be like, "All right, motherfuckers."
Oh man, I'm nervous to hear what he says about me and his.
Oh yeah.
We should totally get the OG.
The OG. Oh yeah, I definitely think so. I gotta reach out to a few people to see if they want on. If not, we'll get we'll get you, we'll get Brim, we'll get Myth, we'll get Rapid. We'll get the old gang back together and just kind of talk about the good old days of the first Grand Quest game and all, just reliving all those moments. That'd be awesome.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, all you viewers, and thanks for watching our Critical Conversations, Storytellers Tales podcast. Remember, our Grand Quest airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. MST. Out of the Abyss, it will be coming out in January. Will be returning to us, which will be released every Wednesday at 6 p.m. MST. And keep an eye out for updates on when we're going to release Aftermath, the collaboration with Quest Nest, the amazing group that has given us their 5th book for their series, and we will be playing it. We got crazy characters into it that shouldn't be together, but they're there. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share us all over your social medias, your friends' social medias, and your dog's social medias. Thanks for coming in. Hey adventurers, thanks for tuning in. Remember to smash that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to give some love to your bards.